Grand Risings, Grand Risings, Grand Risings. Grand Risings, Grand Risings. Welcome, one and all, to the Galaxy Risings. Wow, things happen. Things happen without us even knowing, don't they? Sure, come on, man. Sure. Sir.
a night, what a night, what a night. Oh gosh, what a night. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume is loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. Feel like very running through my skin. Get your hair dances on the tree. Wish we were alone, baby, just the two of us. Yes, every move you make gives me a rush. Oh, oh, wine some more, show me that love, unconditional. Make believe we're alone, just you and me. Take the practice, to let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume is loud, that only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. What a night, yeah. I'd love to wipe the sweat off of your face, but it looks so good and to replace this moment is magic, so I leave it alone until you say, honey, time to go home. Oh, 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 why some more? Show me that love, unconditionally. Make believe we're alone. Just you and me. Take the front, let's leave that behind. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when I'm wrapped up in your arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good because your perfume is loud, that only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good, yes. Oh, what a night, what a night, yes. What a sweet, sweet night for the night. Oh, what a night, what a night, yes. Oh,
Well, good grand risings, one and all. Welcome to the Galaxy Risings. And how are you this morning? How are you this morning? Hmm? Wow. Ups and downs of life. Ups and downs of life. Boy, anyhow, that's how life go. Ups and downs of life. Where do we start? We unravel the history, the things of our past, and then we look to the future and say, enough, enough. How many times are we going to hear, and how many times shall we feel the pain, the pain, the serious pain of the actions of others, mindless, senseless actions of others? That's good, you know. I saw the life go on. I saw the life go on. Grand risings, my sister. Grand risings. Oh, and I hear you. And I hear you. And I hear you for some reason. I don't know why. All the channels are open. I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. I tell you what you do. Sign out and sign back in again and see if it will work. That will open up the channel. Okay. All right then. Okay. That's our sister Sandra is joining us this morning. Yeah. The news. The news of yet another life taken. Yet another life has been taken. Hmm? And you know, like checking on the media, the main media, what was broadcast yesterday. They were broadcasting about another young man who was murdered. And I say murdered, because you know when you set for somebody, you have it already in your mind what's going on and what you want to do, right? And it's not no, there ain't no, let me talk to him and see if he will change in ways or anything. You bring weapons to reinforce what you really want, but you really want to hurt them. And look what happened. Look what happened now. So therefore, not only not only have you taken the life and destroyed the life of all his family and his friends, his associates, but also yours as the killer, as the murderer. All of your associates and friends, family is affected as well. Out of what? One action. You must learn to just cool yourself, my people. Cool yourself, my brothers. Cool yourself, my sisters. Yeah. Why are you so forceful that you want to find that you are the one who's actually the right? You're in the right. Why is your right more right than the next person's right? Sometimes, it's good to just close the gate of that fence and go on about your business. Let them stay there barking on the other side. Let the dog bark on the other side. Doesn't matter, right? Because they're in their own world. They're in their own world. Let them bark. Let them go on with themselves. Yeah. If they haven't got the discipline to move in your area, don't bother with them. Don't bother with them. And I'm not in that still. Greetings, my sister. Greetings.
Greetings, Brother Aston.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's it. I can hear you right, like you're right next to me, like how you was yesterday.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Or as good as perfect as we can make it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm just recounting on the actions of the life what was taken yesterday. Oh, not yesterday, but a few days ago now. I think it was actually. Wait, I'll check.
Like it was day before Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Potentially Wednesday.
And the futility of it, really, because for me, a person can get into an argument, right? And then the argument come into some altercation and all them things there, right? But the way how some of these people are going right now, it's not like we're in a war situation, right? It's not like how say Russia and Ukraine are going, man, I drop bomb and all them things. Okay,
Mm.
but it's not like that. But the way how some of all these people are gone, some of these youngs are gone, right? And that's what hurt it. That's what hurt. I think that's what hurt more than anything,
Mm.
right? It's like they just hell bent on anybody who have any form of confrontation or their path cross against them. It's
Mm.
like you had it. You're done.
Mm. Mm.
You're done.
Mm.
You know.
Mm.
And it's wow. No, because like I don't. Let's say I don't know both of them, but it's the thoughts of why and how it can happen that
Mm.
I'm addressing right here right now.
Mm.
And
Mm.
just expressing my thoughts around that. As I say,
It's
we can argue. We can
mm.
we, we can have a little push and pull business,
Mm.
but that's there's no need to be to take it to the extent of what why if we can't agree right now,
Mm.
let's just part and just that's
Mm.
it.
Mm.
you know
Mm.
you understand, right?
So for me, it comes back to there's a couple of things.
mm,
Discipline's one of them in terms of because we touched upon it
mm,
when we were speaking yesterday in terms of the mind detox. So in order
mm,
to detox the mind, if you're in that situation, not getting dragged down that spiral of the eventuality is one's going to end up in hospital and the other one's going to end up in prison. There's no
mm,
need to go down that deep and that dark for, and I don't know the reason why. I don't know the rationale why. I don't know whether or not someone stepped on someone's shoe, someone
mm,
disrespected someone, or someone stole someone's £1,000,000. I don't know on what level the choice was made,
mm.
other than the fact that one of them, both of them, potentially came and lived their purpose. I I know we sign up and we're all here for a purpose,
Mm,
but would you sign up to kill somebody?
mm,
I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I was thinking, why would you want to do that? Why would you take that mission?
mm,
And then in taking that mission, the outcome, if you're the survivor, is going to be prison.
mm.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's an element of you changing your life, but in order to take a life, I don't understand that. That's a conversation for someone greater than I.
Mm.
But at what point did they have an opportunity of turning away and saying, allow
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
And at what point could they not cross that bridge to allow
Mm-hmm.
it and to give that forgiveness?
Mm-hmm.
So that both of them could have walked away head held high. There's something I was looking at the other day in terms of communication and conversation and how do we communicate with one another, and whether or not we are communicate as the petulant child who always wants it, who's going to roll up and down on the ground, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, or are we going to communicate as adults, adult to adult?
Mm-hmm.
Adult to adult, you're going to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Parent to child, you may not walk away as a child because you just want to get your way.
Mm-hmm.
But child to child, you're in chaos
Mm-hmm.
potentially. But was that the only way for them to resolve their situation? Tells me
Well,
it's a child to child conversation because there is going to be no good way of resolving it,
mm-hmm.
rather than a parent to adult.
Well, for whatever reason, whatever, whoever, right?
Mm.
It ended in, unfortunately, somebody losing their life,
Mm.
you know, and it really is a case of that, you know. Why do you want to escalate things to that confrontational level? You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm.
And then, to to say, you know what, my right is right.
Mm.
Yeah?
Mm.
And to actually turn around and like say, all right, then to prove that I'm right, let me show you. So
Mm.
I'm ready for war now.
Mm.
Ready for war.
Mm.
Yeah? And
Well,
the thing is that I know that we probably look on it and we're automatically thinking, you know, it's just the man them,
mm.
right? But I remember when I was working security, right?
Mm.
And the amount of women that would be carrying like weapons for their
The
man
man then.
to come inside the club them.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
they would literally be carrying the weapons, and they know say that those weapons are gonna be there, and if they use them, it's gonna take life.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? So
Mm.
I'm not leaving the sisters out of this conversation at all,
Mm. Mm.
right? And the
Mm.
realization that they can be implicated in this too.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, you
Mm.
understand? Because I know that many a person has got that mentality that you know the sisters are innocent as well. But you know, let me tell you something. When I'm talking to both of you,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Mm.
You understand? So
Yeah. It,
it's a stay. I don't want to stay in this mode too long, though. I don't want to
mm.
stay in this mode
Mm.
too long. But you
Mm.
know what? Let's just think. Let's just think. You know, because
Mm.
even us as the Galaxy family,
Mm.
we might see we might see or hear of somebody that we know, right? It could be
Mm.
even a family member or somebody that we know, like you know, you see somebody that you know is going through some stress in their life,
Mm.
and some of their actions out there is not right.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just check in on them and say, you know what's going on? What's going on?
Mm.
Before they take
Mm.
that move. And they might
Yeah.
share with you. They might even share with you, you know, why, you know, something that person they do me wrong.
Mm.
Do me
Mm.
wrong. And then, you
Mm.
know, they're festering and festering and festering,
Mm.
you know, before they
Mm.
walk down the street and go do something that they're gonna regret for the rest of their life, you know.
Mm.
That one moment of foolish acts
Mm.
change your life forever, you know?
Mm. Mm. Yeah. I'd agree with that. There needs to be sometimes it may be just the listening ear, the
Mm,
voice of reason that they needed to hear
mm,
from someone who's not emotionally
mm,
involved in the situation. So
mm,
they're not necessarily looking for an answer from you,
mm,
but they just need you as a sounding board
mm,
that helps them to hear themselves
mm,
and hear then that if they do what they're going to do,
mm,
the consequences of that is one of us is going to be in prison and the other one's going to be 6 feet under.
mm,
You choose.
mm, mm,
Because there's some journeys you go down, there's some doors you open that you can't close the door because it's
mm.
now opened. The choice you have is whether you go left or right.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, for me, I just think to myself, please let's just all wake up. I want us all to wake up and say,
Mm.
you know what? Even if it's to vow, take a vow to say, you know what? Never will I
Mm.
reach, I touch anybody.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
I notice
Mm.
I said anybody.
Mm. Mm.
Right?
Mm.
Because I don't say that we're quick to hurt those who are
Mm.
closest to us,
Mm.
right? But soon as it's
Mm.
outside of us, outside
Mm.
of our family, our friend, them,
Mm.
we don't want to raise up ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
we talk hard to our own. But
Mm.
soon as it come to outside of that, they're quiet like mouse.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
type of foolishness is that? Come on now,
Mm.
come on now.
Mm. Mm.
It just shows that you're not genuine in yourself.
Mm.
If so it go.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
Simple as that. Yeah?
But I also heard you playing the Shelly Ann Fraser
Celebration.
celebration,
Mm.
her
Yeah.
receiving her award, and just the words that she'd used and what she had said. And again, if we take it back and we link it back to the conversation with the young people or the people, whether they be male or female, brothers or sisters, and getting down that rabbit hole of
Mm.
anger and violence. 6
Mm.
times she was nominated.
There you go. And she was
And
world record holder and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, people didn't want to. There was a line, and they was like looking at her like they used to look at Usain Bolt and think, well, we are just fighting for second and third place.
Mm.
We're fighting for the minor places. She's part of the relay squad. So you're thinking, you know what? I don't want to run last leg. I don't want to. I run first. I'll run second. I'll even run third. And I'll bring it home, and you guys can be cheering me because I ain't gonna be doing last leg. Because unless you guys give me a 50-meter lead, we ain't carrying this home. So the rest of them are quaking in their boots.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's on top of her game, and the nominations keep coming, and the nominations keep. She goes to the events, dresses up nice, and she was in a nice dress. To be fair, she was in a nice dress. She goes, she looks good, looks her part, and yeah, they.
She must have paid half price for it though because she's only little, you know.
Sorry.
I said she must have paid half price for it because she's only little.
She's, Lickleback Talawa. That's the language that they use in Jamaica. Lickleback Talawa.
Yeah.
She's a pocket rocket.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
She must be 4'11" or something. So, but she look a bit.
Yeah.
But but it's just the fact that, and sometimes when we talk about living our purpose, understanding her purpose, she recognized it from when she was 6 or 13, and been aiming, striving, training, see as a ticket and as a way out. So the difference between her as a way out from a sports, some young people will use music as a way out, whereas against the brother that you played that clip in terms of ancestral voices, he looked at it not in terms of the traditional ways out, but the key for both of them is that they found a way out.
Yeah.
They worked their gift and found a way out. And the question I would encourage the family to think about this as they go through the next couple of days. What's your gift? How are you going to use that as your key to finding your way out of whatever it is that you're in at the moment?
True that.
Rather than getting bogged down.
So true. So true. Yeah, because there's many a person, right? We I would say we're hanging onto their shirt tails, right? To discover the way or a way forward, right? Now, one of the things that I feel that we're losing our focus on, right? We're running after riches, right? Fame, notoriety. Instead of concentrating on our own personal journey, right? Which is obviously more important. Yeah? And even like moving on our own journey, right? We have to just to be our best, do our best. In many ways, I am seeing and hearing, right, of those who are doing some fantastic things, and many a young person, or I'm sorry to categorize it like that. Let me draw it back a bit. Many a person has
mm,
achieved
mm,
many a great thing, right?
mm,
They are part of a great thing.
mm,
But for the future, there still has to be momentum.
mm,
Your momentum is all that's required.
mm,
You don't, when they say, oh boy, well, I have to be number one. I have to
mm,
be the top. You know what I mean? I
mm,
must be the
mm,
best.
mm,
Let's draw that back a little piece.
mm,
You have to do your best,
mm,
right? It is the
mm,
first time that you've experienced something. Enjoy it, embrace it.
mm,
You know,
mm,
there's plenty of things that we would say, boy, I would love to like go and visit somewhere, or I would love to learn a new skill, or I would love to try and cook this dish. You
mm,
know, all those things are steps forward.
mm,
Yeah? We're supposed to embrace those moments of revelation for us,
mm,
experiences for us.
mm,
Yeah, right. Celebrate those moments of new things happening.
mm,
Right. It's like a child when they get a toy. Right. They will just go there. They'll be more interested sometimes in the box than the toy.
mhm,
You understand? Because
mhm,
what they're fascinated by the story, that is by the pictures and
mm,
everything before they even get to the toy. They don't even realize some of them don't even realize that the toy
mm,
is inside the box, and that
mm,
But us as parents, what do? We say no, 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 no. You have to, it's the toy you can play with, and then
mm,
we take the
mm,
box and we dash it away,
mm,
right? But you don't
mm,
realize that the child is making up the whole story through the pictures and everything what's on the box,
mm,
and things
mm,
like that. You know,
mm,
those moments of discovery is what we're losing, was what we lost in
mm,
our lives in them ways there,
mm,
Embrace the beauty of who
mm,
we are and our journey through this form,
mm,
through this lifetime that
mm,
we are here right now.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
What's the one that I did here recently? Consistency. Consistency, yeah, is a must. Yeah.
mm,
That's
mm,
why I say, just go out there and just embrace what life has to have for you.
mm,
You know, it's not
mm,
everything is going to be beautiful, and everything's going to run perfect,
mm,
but just go out there and do what you need to do to ensure that yourself is functioning right.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
you don't have to
mm,
overexert yourself all the time.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and do some serious self-analysis because
And
sometimes when you go, like somebody who I'm sorry to take over the conversation in this way,
no, you're okay. You're okay.
but when somebody is over emotional, right? They're extremely happy and then
Okay.
they're extremely sad.
Okay.
In many ways, it's a reflection. It's a reflection of what's happening within them and for them, what's happening for them as well,
Mm,
right? This is why I
mm,
say self-analysis. You
mm,
know, um, without probably you knowing it, right? You know, um, some form of depression might be setting in, or you might be conditioning yourself into a depressive state. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
and then like when it gets totally hold of you, and it comes into your neurology,
Mm,
right? You get hot and cold, heart palpitations, and all them things there,
mm,
right? That it becomes part of your instinctive behavior.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
it's either is like you say, like when it come to taking a picture, you say, oh, smile, right?
mm,
And some people find it difficult to smile because what? Their face has been fixed in a certain way, right? Inside, they are happy. They're contented, but their face has not shown any emotions for such a long time that the muscle them in the face seize up. You understand?
So,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
mm,
Right?
mm,
The face them seize up.
mm,
So when they come to smile, they're straining. They're
mm,
straining to smile.
mm,
You know,
mm.
and you can't do it. You can't go walking around life like that, man.
Yeah, but some people, and I, in the past, it's been argued that I'm one of those people. I've
Well,
got the face that just says, "Don't, yeah, don't mess with me, don't trouble me, don't." Yeah, I've heard someone say, and it made me chuckle when I heard it,
yeah.
and it's almost like a, a I can't remember the phrase. I'm hoping that I'll remember the phrase before
Mm.
shortly. But yeah, they've got that face,
Mm.
but they are smiling, but they just have that
Exactly.
face,
Inside
that
they
look
might be
on their
happy
face
and
that
everything,
says,
but
yeah. But
they just
that
yeah.
might be just their persona rather than anything greater than that. And the reason I say that, or the rationale for that, is happy and sad are healthy emotions.
Mm.
It's just like you say, whether or not we live in the sad for
Mm.
any length of time
Mm. Mm. Mm.
and we're able to control it. So the individuals that I'm thinking about, they are, if you speak to them outside of that context,
Mm.
if you move beyond the look on their face, the initial look on their face,
Mm.
you do actually realize, hang on a minute, this person is cool.
Mm.
This person is jolly.
To
This
have that
person is happy.
conversation, yeah.
But if they never open their mouth and you never have that conversation, you're thinking dead set face. I think she
Mm.
said dead set or deadpan. It's that type of,
Oh yeah. Look,
or sitting
they,
miserable, something
but
so.
you said it's already dead. You said it's already dead. See that? See that? But the thing is that it's because like when you get some of them people there, you got to put on a hard face and hard persona and all them things there, right? But if you look at any child that hasn't been told to do that, they look and act in a completely different way, right? You understand? Yeah, and they present themselves in a completely different way. As they mature into their life, as they mature into their adulthood, adolescence, their disposition changes. Yes, right. But if their conditionings are, you know what, you got to be hard and all this, present yourself in whatever, right? Instead of being able to say, let me develop your confidence, right? Your self-expression, yeah. How you communicate, your ability to communicate in a clear way, right? So that you can face any situation, any person, right? Whether they be adult or your peers or even a young boy, yeah. Understand? Right? Because like it's one of those things that you have to appreciate, that we have to learn those skills, right? Because I'm not, I mean, obviously my conversation is still around why that comforter, why, yeah, right. I mean, like we've used that expression, the egos, clash of egos, and all that type of thing, right? It could be, I don't know, it could be, right? And for whatever
Well,
reason,
mm,
because I know
well, if
said I could be walking along the road, right? And I'm a person, I do stare into people's faces, right?
mm,
Because
mm,
I I
mm,
I, I make that eye contact,
mm,
and uh like if it needs, I'll give a smile or a greeting
mm,
or whatever. You understand,
mm,
right?
mm,
But that's me, There's other people that will just look on you and say, "Oh, you,
mm,
yeah,
mm,
oh,
mm,
what you look on me for?"
mm,
You know, that type of thing there. You understand?
mm,
But that's
mm,
personally, I don't handle myself in them ways. Yeah,
mm,
right. But yeah,
mm,
people still categorize me as being authoritative,
mm, mm.
right? Or I've been categorized as being a police for many many a time. Many a time, which I find funny at times, but at other times I think, well, no, you insulted me, you know.
Mm, mm,
But you know what?
mm,
If that's how they see me, and like, you know, that's how they categorize me. And the thing is that people have said that for many, many, many years. You know, I,
mm,
I remember
mm,
the first time I went to Jamaica, and I was walking through the market there in Mandeville, yeah, and yeah, I was just walking through by myself, just looking around, see what's happening, and see
mm,
what type of business them have down there. And my brother, who is he's a man that is like one of them entertainer man. You know, he was a
mm,
DJ and all them things. So he's, let's say, with chalk and cheese, yeah.
mm, mm,
And then we went down there. I think it was like a few days later. Right, so he's walking through the market. So he know everybody and everybody. You know, he's
mhm.
that way inclined. So when they said, "Oh, are your brother that?" Yeah. And they said, "Oh, we thought he was a soldier or police or something." Like he come down here looking for somebody, you know. But you know, it's probably the way that I carry myself in that way,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But
mm,
at the same time, it's not a case of that I do it in an intimidating way. It's the way
mm,
I feel comfortable in that,
mm,
you know.
mm,
Same
mm,
way, same way
mm,
again, right? You have to be, I wouldn't say like you know, handle yourself like how I do,
mm,
but in many ways you have to communicate not only through your verbal but through your persona or the way you're presenting yourself as well.
mm, mm,
Yeah. So
mm. Yeah, no, I can imagine that and see that,
mm,
and it's I suppose in some ways it's how do we
mm,
see somebody.
mm,
So the same way that and I've had the analogy whereby I see you on the street and you just walk straight past me and you didn't see me and you yada
mm,
yada yada and you're thinking, but I'm walking and I'm just keeping my head straight
mm,
and I'm going about my business. I'm not looking for anybody. I'm not expecting anybody. Because I'm not expecting anybody, I'm not
mm,
looking and panning from left to right, keeping my
mm,
head straight and going through. So that in itself, someone can take offense to, and you're thinking, but adult to adult, you can have that conversation, you can laugh it off and say, yeah, I was just in a different space,
mm,
or I'm on a mission, so I was just keeping it moving, and they accepted that. But unless you're able to have that conversation, you could be holding malice for the person thinking, but we passed and I looked at you and you just walked straight past me.
all that
No,
things there,
it had
yeah.
nothing to do with you.
Mm,
You weren't even in my space in in that time.
that moment. That's right. That's right.
And because we can talk, we
Mm,
can reason it through. But without us talking, for the next 10
communication.
years, you're turning around and telling people so that, yeah, I saw you down Brixton Market or yada yada, and you just blank me and walk straight past me. No, not
Communication.
a gossa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's that communication. How do we communicate?
Initial, and you know what I've always what I have come across as well is initial judgment as well,
Mm, mm,
right?
mm,
Initial judgment when you know, you meet somebody for the first time,
mm, mm,
and then you know, just probably just even looking at each other, and then the whole analysis has come through. Oh, that person don't like me by the way they look on me. The same thing what you're saying, right? They don't like me for the way they look on me, right? And that's you say, wait a minute. But how do you know? Have you had the conversation? Do you know each other? Do you? No, but I can tell by just the way they look on me. That's ignorance, man. Right? And I say ignorance because you don't know the person, you don't know their thinking, right? Just like what you say, you don't know their what they actually are about. Until you have that type of information, you can't make that analysis. Yeah.
Until you've had that conversation, you can't make that analysis, because you can have the information.
That's right.
It's when you have that conversation and that communication and that open communication, because what you're basing, and we know communication is only 7% of what you said, and the rest is the tone, and the other word will come to me, is tone and something else. So you're picking up on the 93%, that extra 7% can make a difference of you being friends or acquaintances.
Yeah, definitely. You know, but like as I say that, many a time people have misjudged me in that way. They've misjudged me. I've personally, it doesn't really bother me in that way, but it could be used as a tool against me, type of thing. But you know what? It don't mainly because I've been very independent, right? In other words, I'm not relying on other people to bring me or bring myself through, and like I live my life so, right? But then again, that's again a conditioning that I've put for myself. But at the same time, there's no need to have this unnecessary confrontation. No need for it, right? And as I said, we're building this conversation around, that incident there with the young man lost his life there, and the possibilities of what happened, right? And here, as the Galaxy family, to just be aware of how we are presenting ourselves to each other, right? At this time, I'm going to say, like, the lines are open: 0203 289 6504, right? If you wish to comment, or you could text or WhatsApp, if that's more convenient for you, on 079 47479 219, right? So it's one of those things that, I just feel that it just had to be, we had to just have a conversation around that this morning. Right? Because it's a, it can affect us in the community, and it affects us on all levels. Right? We're joined by Sister Sandra this morning. Yeah. So as I say, welcome, Sister Sandra.
Greetings, family, and welcome.
Family, right? And at this time, I've done no edification or anything like that this morning. Give thanks and rises to the management team out here, Chief accompanied by Dr. Abu, Prophet Kwek Ubuntu. Who else? Who else did there? Oh yes, Sister Anawa, Sister Jasanga as well. Jakai and King. The main people also under management there. All our presenters, right, doing that outstanding work. Outstanding. Oh my word. All I know say that all of them BC, all of them BC station there, them on plenty of material. Plenty of material. We're giving it to them left, right, and center because I know say that they're listening in because the next day or the next few days after they're coming with the same articles that we covering, yeah. soon they be calling the BC stations then, right? I think we I know that I'm waiting for one of them to come out with it, you know. I'm waiting for one of them to come out with it. I think we station this man. Oh dear. I'm waiting for them to come with it. Yeah. Because like even for us to have a conversation like these, right? I know listen, people get information from wherever they can, yeah, and they bolster their programs in any way, whichever. And even if we are making a mistake, we're having a conversation like this here now, right? There's nothing to stop them from reaching out to us for a comment, right? Or even using any of our statements here, right? I'm free. I'm personally, I'm as I speak from my heart, and so it go, right? And you know, so if you have any ideas or you taken any of my ideas, which I know that you have, right, and you want to run with that as a news report, not a problem for me, you know, not a problem for me because my work has been done by putting it out there already. So. Anyway. So, yes, the lines are open 0207 0203 289 6504. Okay, so you can come and talk to us directly. That's Sister Sandra and myself. There you go. You see, I'll push you up front there. All right, remember that. All right, let me see what we can do. Here we go. Down by the River Thames, by the House of Commons. We're gonna point at them, make them know say who we are.
Singing songs of joy on this lovely day. Oh, yeah. We singing birds told me that sunrise is always there in the morning, praying and blessing the day. I've heard about this man a long time ago, but never had the faith to believe in my soul. Now Mother Nature said to me, 3 little birds singing a song, convincing me it was so. Now I'm on my way. Anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day. I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. Oh yeah. fool, but never have the faith or believe in my soul. Yeah, yeah. Now Mother Nature sent to me three little birds, singing a song, singing was so. Now I'm on my way. Anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day. Waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. On this lovely day, singing songs of joy. Oh, oh.
You were a pioneer. Probably the first black woman.
I was. I was really the first black, not the first Jamaican. There was another Jamaican man a couple of years before me on the BBC. But because he was very light skinned, no one said, get that black face off our TV screens. And they used a different word. I'll be polite. So I was really the first black face in a current affairs news capacity. And no one was accustomed to that. Before we've been, singing and dancing, but never being serious and delivering the news, interviewing people, or talking about serious things. I mean, I remember standing outside the Russian embassy when Czechoslovakia was invaded and talking about it, and following right after the ITN news, literally following right after, because our program began 5 minutes after the 6 o'clock news. So it was unusual for Britain. It hadn't happened before. From the bosses, they were quite happy with my work. The viewers, I didn't get the responses from the viewers. I would come and do my job and go home. But it turns out that they had responses from the viewers who didn't like seeing me there. In retrospect, now that I'm home in Jamaica, I keep meeting people who tell me they used to watch me on television in those days. Their mothers would call them in, or even older people who actually, would come home just to see me on television. And they're so proud, they're so glad. It's nice to get all of that. But they never called the stations at the time to say how nice it was to see a man on the screen. But other people did, and they said they didn't like it. It's interesting because it was the same year, the year I got my job was the same year that the Race Relations Act was passed in Parliament. I even went to Parliament one day to see what it was like and what they were talking about. But the station didn't say, when people called, wrote in saying, get that N-word off our screens. They didn't say, no, the law says we shouldn't. So we leave her there. She's doing a good job. They didn't say that. They said to the racists, okay, we hear you. We will do what you say. And, I look now, I'm very disappointed at their actions. But at the time, I just had to accept it. I had to accept it. There was no organization for me to complain to and say, will you champion my cause? Birmingham was the most racist place I experienced in Britain.
Their way of living is not like after what. If they were let up and perhaps and all of that, then they would learn to live in.
I couldn't get a hotel room to rent. I had to go back to London every night after the program and then come up by train every morning because no hotel would rent me a room. I eventually got a room at the YWCA after being there quite a few weeks. I had a 6-month contract. And I remember one night going out, being sent out to do a story on a very cold night, coming back to the studio and finding it all closed down. And saying, hey, what happened? We had a live interview with Neon Pop. We only agreed to come to the station if that black girl wasn't there. So I was, wow, I mean, that really stunned me.
I would have cut forward many decades to the present day, and the debate about the monarchy, the British royal family.
It's a major disappointment to discover that the person or the people that you were taught was the mother country, the people who we should love, didn't really have the same feeling in return. You know, what happened, for example, to Meghan Markle looked from our side of the fence really disappointing. That's the word I would use. We were really disappointed to learn that the idea of having a member of their family of the same racial mixture as ourselves was not a nice thing. So if they didn't like to have one of us in their family, what about all of us who've been living, growing up to the belief that we're part of them?
You've been
I mean,
fooled.
that's really what has made so many Jamaicans want to abolish the monarchy, to change from being to having a monarchical head of state to having our own head of state, a Jamaican national. It really showed us a lot. Of course, it was a great indication to us that we're not part of that family. The family that we thought sheltered us, that we fought for, that we helped rebuild their country, doesn't love us.
It sounds like from Meghan Markle, this was a big moment in the way that people perceive the royal family and the UK as well.
It was sad that after all that happened to them, she felt it necessary to speak out about the reasons why they'd left. So many things were being said by the media. So many very negative things were being said. I can't blame her and him for going public to give their side of the story. And it wasn't a pretty sight. And they chose their words carefully. But it shocked us to know. To find that there was a reject, it really showed us a lot, of course, to give their side of the story. And it wasn't a pretty sight. And they chose their words carefully. But it shocked us to know. To find that there was a rejection of him and her really made us, look into it with faces like this. You know? And we still haven't quite recovered. We're very proud of what they've done. We admire their charitable work. And we love them. We love them. We love the whole royal family. But we don't love some of the things that have been done. We can't love those things and love ourselves at the same time.
Will you be watching on Saturday?
Oh, yes. I was around for the first coronation. I watch television, and this is a television spectacle. I'll be watching, but I'll be hoping that we hurry up and make Jamaican Republic and get us out from under having the monarchy as head of our nation.
Yeah.
We have to bow to such a person and sing songs of praise to such a person. You would think the relationship would have improved. Still, what might it be? That was a big blow. That was a punch in the solar plexus. That really stunned us and stunned all the people in the Commonwealth who have the racial colors you and I have. It stunned us. It still does. We will never forget. We can never forget.
When you look back at your time in the UK as the face of ITV, how would you describe that time for you personally, but also for viewers and for the history of television, for the history of this channel? How would you describe that period?
It was good for Britain, for Barbara Blake to have put her black face on British television. I went back 10 years after, and no one had replaced me. There was not another black face. Well, Trevor McDonald by then had come 7 years after me, and then Maura Stewart came along. Barbara Blake was good. It was good that it happened, because now that woman, it has become a symbol of what Britain should be, of what the media should be. And I'm glad that I was used to do that work. I'm glad that Jaja chose me to be that person in that place. And she did her work and she did it well. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity. And I'm glad that the racism I experienced there forced me back home because that's been the greatest thing. I've spent the last 50 years at home in Jamaica and done so many things that I've really enjoyed doing and that Jamaica's loved enough to give me the order of distinction. So I'm glad and I've made my contribution here at home. I've helped build my little Jamaica and make it better in my little teeny small way. Small enough but big enough that a television crew comes from England to interview this Jamaican girl and put her on British television and say she's an example of something good that Jamaicans did in Britain. I'm very proud to have been that person.
Grannies. They don't know, and I said they don't know. Oh boy, they see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, yeah. Only you know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside.
So true, so true.
They see the dancing, them see the performance. Enough people see me life and want one, but them no know say more time it look dormant, and them no see say I'm me belly me a crawl.
Yes, welcome back again to the Grand Rising Show here on the galaxyofwe.net. Everybody, oh, what we got? What we got? That feedback again? Hold on. Let me sit up and of course. I don't know if that's gonna help. But let's see how that works. Yes, Sister Sandra.
Greetings, family. That was an interesting excerpt that you played just there from someone who was part of the establishment, but still saw the challenges within the establishment.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask that you re-sign in again because I'm getting that reverb back into the studio here. I'm not sure if it's actually broadcasted back out there again. Yeah, so we can get a clear communication, which is very important for we, so we can get our message out there. Come on. There we go. Yeah. As the reverbing seems to build up as we have the microphone open, you know?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Okay then. Right, so we've learned how to clear that little episode.
Yes.
So what you bringing to the conversation this morning, my sister?
No, it was just interesting in terms of the sister's perception of her employment at the time in the broadcasting house, how she was treated, and just having that clarity that she didn't allow that to stop her, but she's now using that knowledge and that thought in terms of where Jamaica is currently and the transition that they're thinking about going down that road. And I know that it's a transition that they've spoken about in the past. And they were distracted by the tumbleweed in pulling together those who were looking at it. So they were getting distracted by the individuals who are on the panel and whether or not they're going to be voted in a specific way because of their gender and or their affiliations. And then they're also getting distracted.
Do you think that as the political status is now in Jamaica, do you think that they're actually serious about moving this thing forward, or is it just an exercise to quell the voice of the masses?
So I would, from someone from the outside looking in who's only seen it from a peripheral point of view, I would say that it's more, if it goes through, and because of how their current structure, not from a political point, well, from a political point of view, and how they do things, I don't know whether or not it'd be better or worse, because there'll be some hard truths that they would need to be prepared to accept. There'd be help that they would need to hold out their hand to. And rather than help from the UK or from the Americas, I would prefer it to be help from the other Caribbean and or Africa. That's another conversation. But what they do currently with their political system, to some degree, for me, leaves a taste in the mouth.
Bad taste in the mouth.
Yes, if you're going to do that with the current knowledge and skills that you have, when you're let loose with no final backstop, no one at the back who's saying, hang on a minute, hold up, hang on, let's just take a heavy look at this. You may not necessarily want to hear what I've got to say, but I am the voice of reason. Without having that voice of reason, I don't know how it will play its way out. So from a political point of view, I'm not necessarily comfortable. And I know when I was making the journey back over here, the driver was saying it could have been my uncle sitting next to me, because he was saying exactly the same thing. Jamaica should never got their independence. They should have stayed with the British, because the British were doing so much good things in terms of the road, in terms of the education, in terms of the money, the status. You could come and go as you pleased as a Jamaican national because he was a British subject. And he was on exactly the same tip as my uncle. And I'm thinking, no. You do want to, everybody wants to grow up to have that form of independence. But the question I'd always ask is, how do you then manage that independence? And that's the challenge that Jamaica has, like many countries, whether it be in the Caribbean and or in Africa. How do they manage that independence with the strings that can never be broken?
I've got the neighbors talking to each other at the moment over here. So
Okay.
you hear them.
I can hear them. Normally that's my end. The neighbors talking to one another.
exactly. Oh, yeah, I got the
and
neighbors.
drawing you into that conversation. So yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, because it's those who have experienced. Because even with my mother, she used to speak of times that 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 yeah, she would go down to like Kingston, and it would be like the West End type
Mm,
of thing.
mm,
And like the jobs that she had, um, she was um, she was a consultant seamstress for one of the big department stores down there.
mm, mm,
And she was also um, a well, she said she had four people was working for her in her
mm,
local area,
mm,
right? And they would take the items and sell them in the department store, like
mm,
craft items and things like this.
mm.
So so didn't hear about them a chat though.
It's that good old fashioned Bayesian song, Who Let the Dogs Out?
And all them
Woof,
things.
woof, woof, woof. But yeah, so for me, it's an interesting conversation. I just want to see where that conversation goes. I'm curious in terms of the inclusivity, because one of the things that they've said is that how can they start to have the conversations without involving the people? So if I look at and at what point do you bring in the consultation from the people? So do you already give them the agenda and say this is what we're going to talk about,
Mm,
or do you help ask them to help form the agenda?
yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
in asking them
but
to,
they're making some form of progress, right? But
yeah,
my question and my back thought is, are these the right people to actually push this forward? You know, and for me, it's like the what we've experienced in the UK with the Brexit, right?
mm,
The desire of the people has backfired on themselves now, right?
mm,
And the fact is that even the ones who are there, who are governing us, right? They are only scratching and scraping to bolster their security at the
mm,
expense of the people,
mm,
right? And in many ways, I feel that it could backfire at this stage because they have no base of structure to transition to,
mm,
right? And they're going to make
mm,
exactly the same mistake what the others have done prior to
mm,
them, you know?
mm.
Yeah. Anyhow, let me put me on mute,
So
and you can and brother Julius is on the line, yeah.
okay,
Okay. So brother Julius, greetings.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear him? Hold on. Just a moment, Julius. Hold on. Yeah. Can you hear? Hmm. No, every, everybody's come out at the same time and they're saying good morning to each other, So yeah, yeah. I true that. I true that. Oh no, can you hear him, sisters? What's going on this morning, man? Yeah. I'll try to connect you. I'll try to connect you to our sister there, man. But I don't know. Oh, All right, let me see now. Right, can you hear? Yeah. No. It's not connecting to Sister Sandra's connection there. I don't know why. Right, let me try that one. Okay, right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sister Sandra? Right, you can hear Brother Julius now. All right, speak, Brother Julius.
Low,
Mm-hmm.
very low.
Very low. Mm-hmm. I can get you. I'm hearing you clearly. It's just the transition to Sister Sandra right now. I don't know why, but it's one of those things this morning. Yeah. Uh, No. Continue. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm,
Better.
mm. Exactly. Yes. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm, yeah. Mm, mm, mm-hmm. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm, mm, and taking over. So yeah, yeah. You, mm. One of the things that I've when I'm hearing this conversation, right, I am always listening. I'm listening out for the the next level of society change, right? We talk about independency. We talk about, getting rid of the ruling party as it is now. So what is going to be the thing that's going to take over, right? So that's what I'm listening into, right? Example. For instance, right? If he was still alive, and that uh, society was still intact, right? What they were had in what Gaddafi was spearheading, right? As an independent society change, right? That to me would have been a form of society that you could say, okay, then what are we going to exchange what we have now and what we're going to go move into? And it's only an example. It's only an example, right? Because it had its faults about it as well. But in other words, I'm just using it as an example. So you had one society type of how they were operating and how they were thriving, and then we're going to say, okay, then we're going to put aside you, right? So we're going for independence, but we're going to change to this type of ruling now, right? I don't see that structure. I'm not hearing that type of structure as an alternative, right? For when they say, oh, we want our independence, right? Or we're going to get rid of the ruling organization over us, right? I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing it, right? So what is a structure? What is a structure?
Yeah, I think you get a point here.
Mm,
For the structure and
mm,
really they can bring forward for
mm,
them to understand they were the something kind of thing
mm,
that they want for themselves. But we just go one example. We got so many we can do.
mm,
And people will get the black thing. You
mm,
understand? When they look for my personality, there's a lot of things there when you guys that one of my
mm.
number one, I use them that to be the rest of the black land. You
It would have been
understand?
good. It would have been good. Yes.
This man comes from,
Mm-hmm.
philosophy was great. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, even in the recent time, that was shown to us that we can cover ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mugabe tried to show that.
Mm-hmm.
That man, this guy of Tanzania, what is it? The president who they lost back.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe you
Mm.
can speak to me,
Mm.
I want to bring up on that particular guy.
Mm.
It shows that structure that we can be dependent on ourselves without the rest of the world. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we just have African structure. One person was here, we showed that. Mugabe was doing that as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we take, I mean, we talked about that, but why can't we take that last week as a boy? How the person was doing it to make Tanzania become self-sufficient even within that time
Mm-hmm.
of themselves at home? What was the structure of Marcus Garvey?
Mm-hmm.
What was he thinking when we look into his philosophy and the way and all the philosophy that he was studying? As I say, this man is a big old man and so on. Why this structure is not carried forward and so on? Because why? These people call this white men.
Mm-hmm.
They never leave us alone at all. Whenever we try to step forward, they
Mm-hmm.
are always there, trying to be something. Because why? They are from an association of people. They always give us kill. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Destroy. They kill the system, they kill the people, they always kill the people. But if only they leave us alone, I believe that the structure there, which is black people, we can do and move forward. Because that's everything. When it comes to the manpower of the people,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. 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 Mm. 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 Well, as you speak there, and this has always been a thought of mine. It's a case of when we want to do something like that, and we stand up, they always come with the war and destruction. Yeah. Unfortunately, we and I do recall and I do recount that there has been many a leader in the Africas who have called for all of us to come to defend them, right? And just like how you see people getting on the plane to go to Ukraine about they're gonna go fight the Russian them, right? We have been failing to actually say, you know something, we're gonna go and defend that, right? Right? We're not. We listen. We if you want to be a defender of the rights of Africans, right? There are plenty of opportunities for us to be the upfront people, the frontline soldiers. Yeah, but we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Mm, 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 mm. Exactly. Mm, Exactly. Exactly. Mm. 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 Exactly, exactly. And so you have to be look, over the years we have been called on many a time to do things. Now it's like sign this petition, sign that petition, right? It's in my opinion that we need to be strategic in our movements, right? And we have to be dedicated as well. We have to be dedicated. Yeah. The fight is still on. The fight is still on. Sister Sandra, you can't hear.
Not enough.
You can't hear enough.
Not enough.
I
Not
don't know.
loud enough.
I don't know why, but the flow has slowed down from that side of it. I'm trying to do the connections, but it's just not moving today. I don't know why. I don't know why. But it's a pity, because we're talking about independency in the Africas, right? And we're talking about our support of that as well, right? And as you probably heard me say about the structures, what is a structure that is going to be there? What we're transitioning to, yeah. So and pointing out, brother Julius was pointing out as well that how they have been so reliant that they've forgotten how to be independent. You know, although they are crying for it, but they just forgotten how to be independent. Yeah. So it's one of those things that yes, we would want it, but we need to have a firm structure there, right? Example, as I stated, the example of Gaddafi's system there, right? And how it was totally independent. It was moving to be financially independent as well, right? And then when he brought it to the rest of the African unification there table, they they may have said yes at the table, but soon as they went out the door, it was kind of you stand on your own. Yeah. so who won the battle? Who won the battle in that case? There, you understand? I don't want to put the words onto it, but obviously it could be leading towards something of a massive global upheaval. Yeah. And if you're going to free one, you have to free all. Simple as that. Free one, free all. Yeah. So I pushed it out there so those BC organizations can take that one, right? Free one, free all. All right, brother Julius. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. She said that she couldn't hear it clearly at all. So unfortunately. Mm, 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 yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah, that's the area. Mm, Mm. Mm. No, go. Come on. Mm. 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 Yeah, man. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mm. 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 Well, you put it out there now. You put it out there, and I'm sure that it's going to land on somebody's ears, and they will take it up, and they will spread the word as well. So well done, Mother Julius. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hopefully, I can get a proper connection for this thing here. Sure. That's good. That's all you go. That's all life go. That's all life go. Yes, Sister Sandra, I'm back with you now. I'm back with you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't able to hear or um,
Mm,
get involved in what Brother Julius was saying.
mm,
It sounds like we've had a really interesting conversation, and yeah, I what I aim to do and what we aim to do is just to provoke that conversation. So once we've had that conversation, we can then um, understand,
mm,
move beyond. But if we don't have that conversation, then we will always make assumptions about what the other person's thinking
mm,
or what they're saying or what's in their head or not's in their head. And that's when we get ourselves into trouble.
mm.
So I've enjoyed the conversation today, Brother Aston.
Well done. Well done. Yes, and we really appreciate your presence as well here on the Galaxy for We.net. I'm hoping that you're going to take up the mantle and bring your own program as well. So as I'm always pushing you, I'm pushing the line. You know, and see where we're gonna go. And as we have established as well, and I know that Brother Gabriel, he, he, he put up the thing say, yes, I'm waiting for your material as well. So he sent a message to me, um, saying about the book thing. So I'm going through my process of getting the information together, and we shall be starting that project very, very, very soon. All right. Yeah, as I'm doing, I'm probably stretching myself far, but let's see before I broke it down. Let's see where my stretch and broke it down. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So look, we're coming to the top of the hour. Conclusion. Yeah, or summarization, my sister, because
No, Yeah, I've summarized it in terms of just having that conversation, and not taking the fact that we need to build the art of our communication. I think that's from my summary. So if you're thinking about where you started with the young people or the people, male or female, who are getting into that angst of having a conversation, having an argument where one lands in hospital and the other one lands in prison, or one lands in hospital and one lands in prison, the other one lands 6 feet under. Conversation and communication needs to be heightened. It needs to be an adult to adult conversation rather than a child to child.
Yeah. And at the top of the hour, we should be changing over to our Dr. Oliver, and he should be coming in. So until the next time our paths cross, live good, be fruitful.
Yes.
All right.